Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, and in today's episode, the final episode of the Leyland cars 1977 all model catalogue and Daimler. Hello and welcome back. Quarterlight, if you don't know, we're a car brochure channel here on YouTube, looking at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, sometimes beyond that as well. So if you're interested in looking back at cars you may remember, car facts, car brochures, please consider subscribing. It is completely free. Anyway, back to today's episode. We're up to the final episode now of this huge Leyland cars all model catalogue. Final model is Daimler. So without further ado, let's have a look and see what Daimler has to offer. So, like I say, we're up to Daimler in this huge brochure catalogue, and quite amazing that we've got Jags and Daimlers in here when at the start of there we've got Minis and Allegros, for goodness sake. Seems strange throwing all these all together, maybe quite a brave move to class these all together. I don't know if this cheapens Jags and Daimlers or makes the Allegro seem more special, I don't know, but certainly a brochure that really does have a car for everyone. Anyway, let's start at the top. Daimler, a supremely majestic range of prestige cars, and certainly they were prestige cars. I mean, you would have to be someone a little bit special to be walking into a main dealer and ordering a brand new Daimler, but like I say with Jags, on the second hand market they really did fall like a stone if you was brave enough to drive a second hand Daimler. Anyway, let's have a look at the text. So I apologise, it does fall a little bit on the crease, but it says Daimler of Coventry produced its very first motor car in 1896. Since then, Daimler has acquired an enviable reputation for exceptional cars, whose restrained opulence is recognised as the epitome of prestige motoring. Daimler has never attempted to produce ordinary cars. That much goes without saying. Any car bearing the Daimler name is very much a car for the individualist, a car which is equally acceptable at social or ceremonial occasions. Elegance, superb engineering and craftsmanship are the very hallmark of Daimler, the basis of a fine tradition. The Daimler tradition has been further enhanced by the latest range. One look at these classically sculptured lines of these cars suffices to establish their impeccable breeding. Immediately, it is discernible that the subtle modifications to the earlier range only add to the essential refinement of these cars by successfully combining a modernity of engineering sophistication with unsurpassed luxury and safety. Daimler set new standards of excellence for a supremely majestic range of prestige cars. And then we get the main image in this very 70s colour. Very much like an XJ, subtle differences really. I mean, you really have to look at it to tell it from an XJ, which I always thought there was a little bit unusual. Little things like D for Daimler on the wheel trim. I'm no expert, I'm sure there is a lot more differences than that, but I always thought there was very subtle differences. And me personally, I could never really see much point between having a Daimler and a Jaguar really, but anyway, there we go. I'm sure some people can educate me more on these models, but we'll look through the range for 77. So the range starts with the Daimler 66 and Sovereign 4.2 and 3.4. So we'll have a look at these texts, we'll have a look at a few more of these rather lovely images, and of course that really nice Daimler grille. The preference of motorists for one model or for another, when each have virtually equal claims, is sometimes a subtle one, but discerning motorists are individualists, and their reasons, however indefinable, exist. Recognising this fact, your choice here lies between one superb motor creation and another, and I guess this really sums up why you have both Jag and Daimler, as well as the different Daimler range. The 66, need it be said, is a very special car, one which, whether chauffeur or owner driven, cannot fail to impress driver and passenger alike. The famous V12 engine is near silent, a smoothly powerful example, engineered perfection. It is an engine which Daimler has brought to a peak of performance by the introduction of an advanced system of electronic fuel injection. This sophisticated refinement provides even greater smoothness and flexibility, with equally superb response whether the engine is warm or cold. Inside, the 66 has all the prerequisites of a prestige car. The spacious interior is carpeted throughout and is controlled environment, irrespective of outside conditions. It is provided by sophisticated heating and ventilation controls. The Sovereign 4.2 model loses very little by comparison with its predecessors, nor indeed with the 66, with which it shares such distinctive styling. In this car, the elegant refinement that is Daimler, the distinctive lines and sumptuous luxury are complemented by the well-proven 4.2 litre 6-cylinder engine, an engine that is at the same time powerfully smooth and economical of effort and fuel. The other Daimler traditions, spaciousness and prestigious luxury, are self-evident in the flowing lines and sumptuous interior of this classic car. Offering the refined luxury of the other cars, the 3.4 litre model takes its designation and its raison d'etre from the special version of the legendary 6-cylinder engine with which it is powered. All the grace and style are there, the classic lines, the dignity with its spicing of flair, the sumptuous luxury, the superlative performance on the road, all harmonise into that incomparable whole, emphatically Daimler. And yeah, a lot of long words and a lot of nonsense, but you know, we're catering for a different customer when we get to Daimler for sure. I do like those Daimler grills though, very beautiful, and you just imagine having to polish that for waiting while somebody arrives to be chauffeured around. Looking at the interior, and if you think back to looking at the Jags, the top of the range Jags, really an extremely similar interior. It look like they're exactly the same seats actually. I think the only noticeable difference of course is that D on the steering wheel, and we get this sort of like black treatment at the top where it was like the same colour all the way to the top on the big Jags. Similar sort of story when we look at the rear as well. We turn the page, we get to the next model in the range, and quite a stylish car indeed. Like I say, you certainly meet someone special if you walk in the showroom and asking for this model. This is the Daimler 66 Vanden Plas and Vanden Plas 4.2. And yeah, I've gone back to calling them the Vanden Plas. I always said Vanden Plas throughout my entire life until very recently, and I'm pretty sure in 1977 even Leyland cars themselves were calling these the Vanden Plas and pronouncing it like that. So I'm going to stick with it, even though in the back of my mind I do understand and I do know that it's actually the incorrect pronunciation. I'm sure I'm going to get lots of comments on that, but I'm going to stick with Vanden Plas from here on in. So the Daimler 66 Vanden Plas and the Vanden Plas 4.2. The reputation of Vanden Plas in the sphere of luxury motoring is such that it needs little introduction. Combined with a subtle blend of engineering and advanced styling, the 66 Vanden Plas and Vanden Plas 4.2 are saloon cars truly in the Daimler tradition, and perhaps without an equal anywhere in the world. The 66 Vanden Plas is the definitive car in its class, a 4-door, 5-seat luxury saloon whose graceful elegance, appearance and sumptuous interior are complemented by the effortless, near-silent performance of the V12 engine and a perfectly matched automatic transmission. Vanden have fitted their own specifically designed seats, trimmed in hand-selected hides and ambler. Underfoot are deep pile carpets with additional underfelt, overlaid with luxurious nylon rugs in the passenger footwells. There are spaciousness, silence and a total mood of relaxation to which the controlled atmosphere of the sophisticated heating, ventilation and air conditioning system makes a major contribution. A driving environment which few owners can completely resist. From time to time your chauffeur will have to make way. Whether chauffeur or owner driven, the Vanden 4.2 is also an immensely impressive motor car. The principal point of difference is that the Vanden 4.2 enjoys the smoothly powerful and near silent performance of an inline 6-cylinder engine, complemented by a superbly matched automatic transmission and a similarly engineered specification to the 6. Let's have a look at the images. So yeah, sadly it does fall in the crease, but what a beautiful colour. Love the vinyl roof on there as well. A little bit of the line going down. It certainly looks a classy car for sure. Looks like we've got some extra fog lights on there as well. This particular example looks like it's been chauffeur driven, as I'm sure many when they were brand new certainly were. I suppose we should point out the quarterlight there as well. Certainly a very elegant specification. Inside, similar but kind of like not, I guess. Instead of this, and we have got completely different door trims as well. We've got kind of like wood going across there now. I'm sure there are extra bits of wood, as you would expect. You know, the top of the range model, certainly a nice place to be on the inside, and I always thought Jags and Daimler's always made the best interiors in the world anyway. There is one more model, the kind of like the top of the range, I guess you could say, of the entire Leyland cars fleet, the Daimler limousine. Right at the bottom there is a bit of an afterthought. Kind of like a little bit unusual to be here, I guess, in some ways, but there it is to complete the Leyland cars story. Daimler limousine. Let's have a look at the text and we'll come back to this interesting image. So the Daimler limousine. The immaculate coachwork and finish of the Daimler limousine are by Vanden, a name as respected in the motoring industry as Daimler itself. And like everything else in the Daimler limousine, all that can be done to improve the comfort of the passengers or the style of the car has been done. A list of personalities who travel in Daimler limousines make impressive reading. Royalty, head of state, prime ministers, governors, ambassadors, diplomats and chief executives of industry from all over the world. The Daimler limousine is very much an international car. Although certainly when I think about Daimler limousines, I really do think about the royal family, and that's the style of car. What can I say about it? It's a luxury car and certainly not an ordinary one. It shows the interior as well, in a little image to one side. Shown at first that sort of extra little seat there, then folded away, and as you would expect, it's all about the passengers, isn't it? So they get a huge amount of room. So that takes us to the Daimler specifications for all the models, and it's a lot, isn't it? So I'm just going to pick some key points out for some of these models, and we'll probably look at the options because I always find those interesting, and we'll look at the next page and do a little bit of a summary for this brochure and pick the car that we would pick. So we start with the smallest engine car, the 3.4, which came with a 3,442cc engine, maximum power 161 bhp, Unusual transmission, 4-speed manual transmission with overdrive and a Born Warner automatic option, 3-speed. So I wonder how many had the manual. I'm sure most people would pick a Daimler and pick the auto, I would imagine. Let's just have a look at some of the options you could get though. So it's given us options of fog lamps, white wall tyres, tinted glass, chromium plated pressed steel wheels, alloy wheels, rear lap and diagonal seat belts, choice of audio equipment, electric aerial, remote control driver's door mirror and head restraints. So no head restraints interestingly on that base Daimler. 4.2 came with a 6-cylinder 4,235cc engine, 166 bhp and the same transmission or auto or manual if you preferred. Similar optional extras, although we've now got an air conditioning optional extra. Unusual one to get a base model and not even have air conditioning as an option, but air conditioning, fog lamps, white wall tyres, tinted glass, chromium plated steel wheels, alloy wheels, rear lap and diagonal seat belts, choice of audio equipment, electric aerial, remote control driver's door mirror. The 66 with the 12-cylinder V configuration, 5343cc, maximum power 284 bhp at 5,750 revs per minute. Only one transmission option for that one though, the GM400 auto gearbox. Options include air conditioning, fog lamps, white wall tyres, chromium plated pressed steel wheels, alloy wheels, rear lap and diagonal seat belts, choice of audio equipment, electric aerial, remote control driver's door mirror. Then we get the Vanden Plas, the 4.2 4235cc, 166 bhp. Transmission only that Borg Warner Auto Model 65 3-speed transmission. Skipping over the options, actually, the Vanden Plas didn't have any options. I guess they had it all on them already. So this is next one up is a 66 with a 12-cylinder V configuration, 5343cc and 284 bhp engine, and unsurprisingly. And then our only option is that GM400 auto gearbox. Again, no options. I guess they're all on there. Then finally the limousine, which surprisingly came with the 6-cylinder actually, 4235cc, 162 bhp at 4,250 revs per minute. Looks like we've got a Borg Warner automatic transmission as you would expect, gear selector on steering column, needle bearing propeller shaft. Options on the limousine though are comprehensive, so we've got a choice of audio equipment, electrically operated division, footrests, rear compartment, nylon rug, rear compartment, fog lamps, electric windows, rubber mats, front compartment, air conditioning, tinted glass, hazard lamps, intercom, telephone, quartz iodine headlamps, duotone paint colours. And finally it says these are just a few of the wide range of options available. Full details can be obtained from your dealer, and I'm sure you could pretty much get anything you wanted on there if you had enough money and you was important enough, I guess. So just to finally conclude this brochure, we get a little bit of information about the Leyland Motorsports there and a rather nice rally spec Triumph TR7. It also tells, I'm not going to read the full thing, but it also tells us in here there is a Plus Pack A performance kit. Provide GT performance for many models without infringing warranty or super cover, starting from £80. So I'm sure they were quite rare little options, things like engine and transmission oil cooler kits. And what else we got? Progressive rear bump stop kits cater for the needs of those towing caravans, and there is a range of spoilers and other aerodynamic aids. Interesting. Then goes on to tell us about the usual things, you know, Leyland Uniport PED. PED is Personal Exports Department, I guess. And then Gauntlet used cars, and of course super cover your warranty. And then that takes us to the real big question in this brochure: what model you would have actually chosen in 1977 as your new car. I quite fancy a Jag, but really I'm ruling out those cars just because, you know, the chances of having enough money, I guess in a dream world, but I'm more looking at it more sensibly, the chances of having enough for a brand new Jag are very slim, really. Rover, particularly like the SD ones, I do love the design, but I'm going to say you take one for a test drive and you realise the build quality isn't really there. So I'm tempted also by an Allegro. I don't know why. I've always liked the Allegro, but the car I finally choose is Dolomite 1850 HL. I kind of a little bit fallen in love with this model. It looks really nice in this colour. Would be a toss up if I went for this lovely blue or a yellow, but top of the range Dolomite, nice big engine. Yeah, tempted a little bit by the Sprint, but I've never been a real fast driver. I think this would have been more than enough car for myself. Anyway, let me know in the comments which you would choose from this full range Leyland Cars brochure. So there we go. That is the conclusion for that Leyland Cars catalogue 1977. And what an amazing catalogue and a vast array of cars. Can't believe we got all the way to part 8. And really, I was very much cut down. I could have made almost endless brochure reviews from this particular brochure alone, but thank you so much for those who've watched the full series. I do appreciate it, and of course if you've not done already, please do consider subscribing. It's completely free. Finally, I'll put a little bit of a link to the full brochure, so the link will go through all the different episodes and it'll allow you, I think, to pick which episode you want to see, I'm assuming. But they're all there in one place that are now easy to find. So thank you so much for watching. Please do come back again, and of course do take care. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.